We are now in August, and I haven't posted anything on the CBR swapped Miata in a while, so I kind of want to do like a midsummer update. Unfortunately, I haven't even driven the car since roughly late May, which is pretty sad, but at the same time, I've been pretty busy. I've been doing some pretty cool stuff at work. I posted a video on it. I'm helping build a Cadillac ATS-V, and we recently went 890s in the quarter mile. I'm pretty proud of it, and I'd appreciate if you guys would check that video out. It's not quite the same style of content as the Miata, but it is pretty cool to see a big sedan like that pull the front tires at the drag strip. And then besides the work stuff, I actually did pick up a new daily driver, which I'm pretty excited for. It's a 2013 Scion FRS. Driving 60 miles per day to my job, I've always wanted kind of a fun rear-wheel drive manual transmission car. Obviously, that's what the Miata used to be, but it's gotten a little out of hand since then. So I'm hoping this FRS will kind of scratch that itch for me. I originally bought it planning to do a Turbo K-Series swap in it, but after kind of calculating the cost of that, I think I'm just going to do my own turbo setup on the stock FA20. Just trying to make like 300 wheel horsepower. Obviously, I'm not breaking any new ground with turbocharging the FA20 boxer engine in the car. Obviously, that and the K-Series swap, both those routes are kind of well traveled by now, but this is just kind of something for me to tinker with, and like I said, have that fun daily that's still quiet, retains air conditioning. I'm going to do a standalone ECU in it with flex fuel and just kind of your average turbo build nowadays, but I do not want that one to get out of hand. I'm planning on doing probably just one video on that when I'm done with it. Like, this is how I turbocharge my BRZ or FRS. All that being said, I still have made some changes to the Miata since the last time you saw it, so let's get into it. Probably the biggest change that I've made is I've went to a different turbocharger. If you remember, previously I was running the GT2560. When we were on the dyno the last time, I was only running like 3.5, 4 PSI of boost in the intake manifold, and I was seeing close to 10 PSI of back pressure pre-turbo, and that's just not ideal for making the power I want to, where I want to, in the high RPMs. The responsiveness was great, but I could kind of feel it dying off towards the higher RPMs, so I wanted to put a bigger turbine housing on that turbo to reduce the back pressure. And unfortunately, I already had the biggest back housing for that specific turbo. So I got this great idea of grabbing a 0.82 turbine housing from a GT28, which is the next size up turbo, kind of making it work on the GT25, which required a new turbine wheel and shaft. And unfortunately, I think I might have bent the shaft when I was pressing it into the CHRA on that turbo. It lasted like 5 miles of driving in 2 pulls, and it started making a hell of a noise. And I ended up kind of investigating it, and that shaft is bent, and the compressor wheel ended up contacting the compressor cover. So that turbo is kind of junk. I ended up just grabbing a Chinese eBay GT2860, the disco potato, if you will. So that turbo has the bigger back housing and the bigger turbine wheel in it. On top of that, I'm also running about 5 or 6 pounds of boost now, whereas before I was running probably max 4 PSI. The new turbocharger has a 3-inch inlet, whereas before it had a 2.5. So I have a bigger intake and a bigger filter, bigger turbocharger, more boost. So I estimate it's probably making maybe about 220 wheel horsepower. I'm going to get it back on the dyno here in the next couple weeks and do a video on that to just kind of verify what horsepower it's making now. Besides the turbo, another change I made is I went ahead and built a full exhaust system for it, which is pretty cool. Previously, the downpipe was 3-inch and it just 90'd off the turbo and pointed directly towards the ground. So I went ahead and took that same downpipe. I necked it down to 2.5-inch and put a V-band flange on there. And then I ran 2.5-inch stainless all the way to the back of the car. And then right before it exits the bumper, I went ahead and put a vibrant stainless steel ultra quiet resonator, I think they call it, but it's decent size, and made the car just a little bit more quiet. I think if I want it like truly streetable, I'm gonna need a pretty large chambered muffler in the back. I think it has something to do with the high RPM and just the frequency of exhaust pulses. It's still kind of ear piercing, unfortunately, but it does make it a little bit more tolerable. So I'll go ahead and start the car up, give it some revs, and kind of show you guys how it sounds now with that full exhaust system. And then the last change I made was after the Super Miata Techna coilover install. I just wasn't very happy with the ride height of it after that, even with the coilover set to their lowest position. So I went ahead and I reached out to 949 Racing, and they sent me some new springs for the coilovers that are shorter and a softer rate, with some helper springs in there, which allowed the car to sit a lot lower. And then at that same time, I went ahead and put, I think, some 20 millimeter spacers on there just to get the wheels a little bit more outboard of the car, just to kind of help with the fitment a little bit. These are only 14 by 7 inch wheels. They were the lightest I could find at the time, so that's what I went with. So I think the stance, if you will, is a little better now. So those are the changes that I've made since I've posted. Like I said, bigger turbo, full exhaust system, better fitment now with the wheels. And I still think I'm going to take it back to the dyno, do another video on that, and just kind of verify the horsepower number to what I think it is with these changes. So be on the lookout for that, and thanks for watching.